Hey you guys, so I know this has been a long awaited video. I do have a couple of things that I want to show you. So if you want to try it, I highly recommend it. If you're into your infertility journey or you're trying or you're thinking about trying, I highly recommend that you start an Instagram or document on your Facebook something where you can go back and get these things because they are priceless. Let me tell you, when my daughter was born, and when I realized I could do this, my heart just melted because she's going to be able to see. This is just a great way to keep track of these memories. So I'm so glad that I did this Instagram in hindsight. So I wanted to share that with you. But here we go. So this here is my keepsake box. I created this box and it's a great way to keep track of things. So I have all of the little things that I wanted to keep from my daughter's first year in this box. I have our, maternity photos, our birth photos, our newborn photos from when my daughter was born in this one, and it does include, photos of when she was actually born. So I did that in a separate book. This one is a paperback, so a little bit more flimsy, just because I don't plan on showing that to too many people, so I didn't need it to be as durable. But these are called CHATBOOKS. This is what they look like. These are the hardback books that we got. And all of these books here, I have 20 of them here in this keepsake box. All of these are from a certain point in my infertility journey until the very end, through our pregnancy, through her first year of life. So it's super awesome that I was able to keep all of these, to see our journey in all of these books, and they're going to be keepsakes for our daughter. Now, the reason why I wanted to show that was just to show that if I'm looking down, I'm just kind of referencing these books because it's a good way for me to make sure that I have my dates right. But if you're ever interested in just looking through my Instagram yourself, you can go find us. Handle is We Are the Lincolns. It will be below in the description section of the video. So on January 29th, 2015, that is when I started this Instagram. My first Instagram post was back on January 29th, 2015. Aside from our infertility journey, I had just lost several members of my family, so I was going through a bit of a depression that was grief related, trying to, figure out what was the purpose of my life and what was the point of even being here. I was never suicidal in that I wanted to take my own life, but I no longer had the will to live, which is sometimes a hard thing for people to say out loud, but I think a lot of people can relate to feeling like that, especially when you're bogged down with so much. It was just a lot going on, and then, here we are. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, at least if we have a baby, that'll heal some of this pain that I feel. But then we were trying and we weren't getting pregnant, and so that just made things even harder. So anyway, with that being said, so our journey actually started December of 2013. Like I said in our previous video, we got married in September of 2012, and we had always said, we wanted to be married for about 2 years prior to starting a family. That way we could be able to enjoy being married. And then, we could also do some traveling and just spend time with each other. Even though we had been in a long-term relationship for 4.5 years, most of that, as you heard, was spent doing long distance because of me being in school to complete my bachelor's degree. So we wanted to spend that time together. However, one day I just woke up and my switch flipped, and I woke up and I was like, I'm ready to have a baby. And that was like about a year after we were married, which was freaking my husband out a little bit because, he was just like, I don't think I'm ready. He always went through these feelings of insecurity because of not really having a relationship with his own dad. So he just kind of went through that, which I understand a lot of men do. So I told him, I was like, okay, well, I want to wait until you're ready though. I don't want to just end up pregnant and then you're freaking out and stressed because you're not ready. I can wait. I'm just letting you know, I'm just communicating it with you. I do feel the need to now be a mom. and I'm ready to put everything else on hold in order to do that. So that was around maybe September of 2013. Yeah, around the time that we had been married for about a year. I was just like, I'm ready to have a baby. So then after that, my husband, he around December, he saw how much I really wanted a baby, and he told me, he was like, you know what, I'm still kind of feeling anxious about it, but I kind of want to start our family too. So how about we don't actively try? Let's just like not try, not prevent, let's just see where it goes. If we end up with a baby, great. If not, and it takes a little while, that's okay too. So I was like, okay, that's cool. We can do that. I stopped my birth control November of 2013. And then we decided to officially start trying December 25th of 2013 as my new cycle began. So that was the beginning of our journey. However, as you can tell, I did not start this Instagram until a little over a year later, on January 29, 2015. By this time, we've been trying, not preventing is what it's called. But here we are a year later, we're not pregnant. So I'm freaking out because I really, really want a baby. Like, the yearning inside of me, it's indescribable. Unless you're a woman who's gone through it, I cannot explain it. So I'm not even going to try. To have a baby, to be pregnant, and to feel your child come into this world, it's an indescribable feeling. And we hadn't really talked to our family about it yet. We had told our parents that we wanted to have a baby, but we kind of told them soon we're going to be trying. We didn't tell them we were like not trying, not preventing. We were just like, don't be surprised if eventually you guys have a grandchild, because it is on our mind, but here we are a year later, nothing's happened, and people are starting to be like, well, are you guys trying? Are you guys not trying? And at the beginning, you're a little ashamed. You're kind of like, oh no, we're not really doing that. I don't know. Or you just kind of try to change the subject because you don't want to talk about the fact that you've been trying and nothing's happened. Hi, babe.
Did you not get my text?
No, I'm recording. What'd you say? That you were coming home? Oh, okay. So I ended up doing, so I talked to him and I was like, I want to start an Instagram. I've always been into writing. I love to write things down. It helps me process, whether that's checklists or whatever. So I told him, I was like, I want to do an Instagram, and I want it to be a place where I can just kind of let out my feelings and process through what I'm going through. But I ended up finding out that this whole community of women on Instagram who are part of the Trying to Conceive Sisters, Trying to Conceive community, who are there doing the same thing, documenting their stories and getting advice from other women, and just creating this pen pal community where you can rely on each other and help each other through this devastating situation. So here I am meeting women who've been struggling for a year, 3 years, 10 years, women who have banded together to encourage each other, and it was just so phenomenal. So I ended up getting involved in the community as well by making posts, adding women who are going through the same thing, starting to educate myself about the process of fertility and how our bodies works. And it's crazy how much you don't really understand. Like, yeah, we take health class, yeah, we know sperm meets egg, but there's so much more involved. The way our bodies work to prepare us for a baby, it's just crazy. Like, to think about the fact that if you get pregnant 1 month sooner or 1 month later than the child that you currently have, it would have been a totally different baby. I highly recommend that if you are trying, you watch The Great Sperm Race on YouTube. I'll link it below because it's a phenomenal documentary. And it just opens your eyes to just how beautiful and how intricate the process of conceiving a child is. So I ended up, starting to watch a lot of documentaries, The Business of Being Born, and like I said, The Great Sperm Race, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of reading, finding a lot of mom blogs, finding a lot of books about conception and, what to do when you're actively trying, how to nurture your body when you're doing that, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And so over time, I documented all of these things on my Instagram. The things I was trying, the things we were doing month to month, the vitamins we were taking, how I was feeling. Some days I would have good days, some days I would have bad days. For example, February 2nd, 2015, as you can see the photo there, I can't escape my thoughts. I would find a photo that was fitting to what I was feeling at the time, and then I would share a post. Here's a picture of us, together. And I was already knowing back then that I wanted to breastfeed. It's just crazy. Here's a photo of, just ovulation tests that I had taken. This was a day-to-day thing for me. Eventually, I went on to taking my basal body temperature and doing other things. So, by the way, if you ever have questions or comments about infertility and what that's like, you can message me on Instagram or on our Facebook page, or even here on YouTube. Just put a comment and I'll be happy to get back to you. This is a passion of mine now. I love to help women who are struggling with this type of thing, with trying new techniques, and then also just giving them encouragement when it comes to dealing with this. So anyway, I ended up documenting my entire journey. I don't have time to go over everything right now, but what it ended up coming down to is, after we had been trying for several years, we ended up seeking the help of a OBGYN who did some fertility testing, and it turns out we have severe male factor infertility, which they had given us about a 1% chance of being able to naturally conceive. So we were referred to a reproductive endocrinologist who was going to start our consultations on doing fertility treatments. But before we were able to do that, the OBGYN actually recommended that we go to a urologist instead first. So my husband went to a urologist who then decided he was going to put him on Clomid. So he was going to do that for 6 months, and then we were going to reevaluate to see if we would be able to conceive naturally, if his spermal health increased, or if we were going to have to still go forward with doing IVF or IUI. So at that point, though, he got his prescription about a day after I found out I was pregnant. And so it was crazy. It was like, well, we don't need this now. But jumping forward to that story, well, I won't even waste your time. If you guys are interested in hearing it, I will go ahead and do another video to tell you about how we found out we were pregnant, and to post our the video of when my husband found out. For now, this is just to say that after several years of trying to get pregnant, we actually miraculously got pregnant. My OBGYN didn't really believe that I was pregnant because she had just sent us, like I said, to the urologist. So when I called her and said, hey, I'm pregnant, I need a checkup, she was like, okay. So when I came in for my 8-week checkup, she told me, she was like, you know what? I don't think we should call your husband and your dad in just yet, just because I'm not sure what we're going to find, was her response. And so when we started the ultrasound and Lindea was sure in there kicking, once we got pregnant, my pregnancy was awesome. I didn't have morning sickness or anything. I started to have back pain a little bit towards the end, but getting a prego pillow really helped with sleeping, and getting a heating pad for my back really helped. My feet never swole up except for the day of my baby shower, because I was on my feet all day and I was already 36 weeks pregnant. But other than that, it was great. I had a home water birth. I delivered my daughter in my parents' bedroom. So again, if you're interested in that, I can do a video on that. That was a whole nother story. Awesome experience. Everything was perfect. God was involved the entire time. It was so great. And she came into the world 6 pounds, 5 ounces, 19.5 inches long. Just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's just awesome. Like, actually, I have some of her ultrasound pictures here on the wall, and her information from the day she was born there. So, it was an awesome experience for us, and so we're so glad that we were able to do it that first time, So with that being said, I do have a special announcement for you guys. Since the first time was so fantastic, we decided that we wanted to do it again. But it is not our turn yet. So we are not pregnant right now. However, we've decided that I'm going to be a surrogate. because of the fact that we know what it's like to struggle for so many years to have a family, and the desire that one has to look down and see part of themselves in their child. Sometimes you just can't shake that feeling. You just have this desire to go through the experience of being pregnant or go through the experience of seeing your child come into the world. And surrogacy sometimes is the next best thing. I've decided to become a gestational surrogate, which means that they won't be using my egg, but they will be using the egg or sperm or donor sperm and egg of the couple that we will be working with. And then through IVF, they will inseminate me, and I will carry the child to term for that family to help them create their forever family. So we are super excited about it. We actually started the process in January. We just finished going through the whole process of screening. So we are going to help a couple become a family. So we're super excited about that. I will be doing a series going over it in detail. As you guys know me, and it's been so hard for me not to put on my Instagram yet, but we wanted to wait and pray and see how things turned out. So now that we've been screened and passed and we're in the official profile selection period, now is the time where we're ready to start sharing and walking you guys through the rest of the process with us. We will be documenting the entire thing. And so right now, we do not have our parents just yet. So at this point, we've given permission for our profile to be released. So they do a profile on me and my husband and our family. And so this is something we do all together. So even though I will physically be carrying the child, it's a decision that the entire family has to make. And so this is something we've been doing together for the past 8.5 months now. So we're super I cannot even tell you how excited we are about this. We've given permission for our profile to be released. So basically at this point, we are ideal candidates. We have a textbook pregnancy. Every pregnancy is different, of course. We're not going in blind with that perception of that it's going to be just as easy as the first time, but we do have the desire to help another family so that they don't have to suffer, for a long time. And we can help them through God's grace have a family, So at this point, we're going to be setting up interviews soon. They've released our profile, like I said, so that parents can begin selecting us, and then we'll start interviewing with those parents. Once we have a mutual agreement, we like them, they like us, then we will begin the process of starting fertility medication and then doing the IVF embryo transfer. And then confirming the pregnancy. So the way things are set up, they're expecting that we should be matched and going in for the embryo transfer no later than the middle of November to the beginning of December. So it's coming around pretty quickly. I actually wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly. But by the time we finish, it would have been about a 10 or 11 month process, considering I started the process when my daughter was 6 months old. So that is our big news. I know it's probably not what you guys are expecting. A lot of you guys were guessing that I was pregnant myself. After I had my daughter, that yearning that I talked about that was so strong before, it went away. I don't have it anymore, like zilch. And people keep telling me it's because Linda is so young, but I don't know that that's particularly the case, because I have other moms, again, in the community that I know who started trying as soon as they were cleared by the doctor to resume having sex or whatever. They wanted to start trying again, because when you go through something as detrimental as waiting years and years for a child, you don't want to wait. And so a lot of the moms that I know are starting to have their second child or their third child back to back, so they can make sure that they're still in a really, really fertile place, and then also that if it is going to take a while, that their kids are still somewhat close together. And I don't have that desire at all. I don't feel it. So a friend of mine was a surrogate as well. She told me, maybe after you have the surrogate baby, then you'll feel it and be ready to have a second one. And maybe that will be the case. My husband really wants a second child, so I'm hoping that eventually that desire does come back. But like I talked to him about, I really don't want to just have a child just because I can, you know what I'm saying? Because then I feel like my level of dedication to being a mother may decrease, and that might be a weird thing to say, but I don't know, that's just how I feel. So anyway, I tried to keep this video as short as possible, but there was a lot of information I had to cram in. So like I said, if there's anything else you want to hear in more detail, I can do a separate video, separate shorter videos for each topic, so that way it doesn't end up this long. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm so glad that I will have you guys involved now, and you'll be able to share this portion of our journey. This is a new journey now, a completely new journey that we're super excited to document and share with you guys and get your advice on and your encouragement. You guys have been so great in the past, and I know that we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So I really appreciate the support. And I would love to hear what you guys think about it. So make sure to comment below, and let us know if there's anything else, like I said, that you want to hear about, so that we can make sure to put that on our channel. So for now, we will be doing future segments related to the surrogacy, in addition to all the other fun videos we have planned to just kind of help you get to know us as a family. And we have a lot of stuff that's happening in the next year with us trying to make some lifestyle changes, so we can't wait to share that information on our channel as well. In the meantime, you guys have a good day. Stay prayed up. We love you. Bye.